Welcome to the Bums Happy Hour, presented by Jack's Place, 7000 West Southwest Highway in Chicago Ridge, Illinois. Happy belated Merry Christmas, a preemptive Happy New Year. I'm here with the head bum in charge, Jason, the Southside Bum, Johnny, and what I believe is the original Mr. Joey P, but he might be a disgruntled Bears fan. So I'll start with you, Joey. Joey, why the long face?
Hermanos, let me get this stuff off. I got to get the positive vibes going on this show. What I need that stuff over here. Get rid of this negative energy like the Bears and all of our Chicago sports teams. What's going on, hermanos?
What's up, Joe? It's good to see you guys.
Happy Friday. We're here to bring the good vibes on a Friday night.
Yeah, so we had our pre-show meeting earlier today. We do a group chat, depending on who's going to be available and who's doing the happy hour, the Bumcast, and all that stuff. And we said, do we want to talk Chicago Bears? And it was a consensus. No dice. We're going to save the Bears talk.
Worst game in NFL history. I was gonna say this for my Monday bum of the week, but can we just get rid of the Christmas Day football? I know it's football on Christmas, but those were so fucking bad to watch.
Nah, I disagree. We can talk about that on Monday, but I disagree. Some football is better than no football.
Agreed.
At least just having it on a Wednesday though, like 3 days after some teams are playing, like that just seems fucking bad. Like that, the Texans did not want to show up for that game at all. Like the Texans were like, yeah, no, like I want to go home and open gifts with my kids. Fucking Bears were hungover from the night before. Probably the Seahawks too, but that was some bad football, man.
The night before, more like for the past 10 weeks, they've been hungover.
It's been a good 11-week hangover for the Chicago Bears. But we did suffer through that game. We said we're not going to talk about it. We're going to save that for Monday's show. We want good vibes. We want positive vibes. It's the weekend. It's felt like a long, 7-day weekend at this point for me. I didn't work all week. I haven't left my couch except for Christmas when we saw our families. But we did suffer through that game. I figured we probably drank a good amount during that game, even though we didn't plan on doing it. But what are we drinking tonight, gentlemen? I'll start with you, Jason.
All right. So I got this nice little thick, dark bad boy here. This is the Sleepy Bear bourbon barrel aged. So I had the cookies and cream one before. This is the regular barrel aged. So that one is yeah, Peter, I'm with you. Like I've been on vacation since last Thursday. I don't even know what fucking day of the week it is. I'm not sure that I didn't remember we had a happy hour today until you text me, because I had no idea that it felt like Friday. Like having Christmas the middle of the week, being off days before, the days just get blurry. I'm confused as everyone else here, especially when you've been in a perpetual, drunken state for going on 9 days now.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
That's a good vacation.
Yeah.
Johnny, what's going on with you?
Yeah, I got this pack that Missy won from her family holiday party. And I'm gonna pronounce it as how she pronounces it. Laguntas.
Laguntas beer.
Laguntas beer.
The I in it.
Yeah, Laguntas. Lagunitas. It's an awesome pack that they have. I haven't had Lagunitas in a very long time, and just reminds me of how I used to like it. I kind of miss the IPAs? The bar room that they had. Yeah, the bar room. If you have never been there before,
they closed that down, right?
They closed it down. Yeah,
damn, I did like that place.
When you walked in there, they had that song from Willy Wonka. When you walked in, it was a magical place. But yeah, this is actually pretty good. This is called Maximus Colossal IPA, 9%. So,
it looks darker than your normal Miller Lite.
It does look a lot darker. This is probably what my piss is going to look like later on.
You gotta take some vitamins, brother.
Hey, by the way,
going on with you?
Hold on, by the way, I saw something. I told you I took a nap before I got onto this show here because I was a little tired. But I saw a little tweet that you said you would slap me for $5,000. What the fuck was that?
No, there was a tweet out there and it said, "Would you slap your cousin for $1 million?" And I said, Absolutely. And I would give you $5,000 for your trouble. I think that's a deal.
Bullshit. No. If you're getting $1 million,
10 grand.
Give me 5.
Listen to me, man. I have more than one cousin. There's 50 of us. If you're not going to take that deal, someone else will.
Johnny,
I mean, half a million
being
slapped in the face, I'll take that deal.
Not $500,000. I get the $1 million for doing the
5,000.
10K best offer.
Okay, I'll still take it.
Take it.
Why are you giving him 10? Never mind.
Joey P. Happy Friday, hermano.
Happy Friday, hermanos. Well, Johnny talked me into the Frosty mug, and you're right, brother. This is
a game changer.
It's a game changer.
I'm telling you.
I did the Frosty mug on for the Bears game yesterday.
Yeah. It hits a spot. It really it brings a whole new element to cerveza fria. And then here for a little sidecar, I just opened up the Jimmy's batch from Booker's.
Okay.
So,
Nice.
Got to try this out, see what it's like. Bottles are meant to be opened and shared.
That's right. That's correct.
It's
That's a new
the
shirt
holiday
from us.
season.
Yeah,
That's a new shirt.
Absolutely.
Before we get to our topics, I want to tell you guys something that happened to me earlier today and get your opinion if maybe I overreacted or was a proper reaction. But I said, told the wife we're both off for vacation, so let's go out for lunch. And I felt like tacos. It felt like taco lunch. If I had enough of the ham and the Christmas food and everything, like I need to get back to my roots. But I didn't go taqueria. I just went to this upscale kind of place in Downers Grove called Bar Cheeto. If you guys ever been there, it's fancier tacos and everything.
Upscale.
But yeah. So we get there a little before noon, and first off, we're the only two that are in the place. So we walk in there, and literally there was one of the employees with her head on the bar, and she jerked her head up. And I was like, oh, this is not going to be no specs. Brunch is not on Fridays. Get your shit together. So I was like, okay, this is already going to be bad. So they seat us, and she's like, what would you guys like to drink? Sarah orders Paloma, as she always does. I go, give me michelada. Don't want to get too crazy with the margaritas before noon, but give me michelada, get the edge off. Girl has immediately goes, I got to see if we can make that. This is a bad sign already. So she goes, talks to the bartender, comes back and says, no, sorry, we can't do a michelada. I'm like, fuck, all right. Just give me a Modelo, right? Brings back the drinks, Modelo, skank.
Oh no.
Ooh,
this is what happens at upscale suburban Mexican restaurants. This is what we've had this discussion in the past, Jason. If I want my tacos to be from a corner back alley taqueria that everything is either fresh and there's construction workers and school bus drivers and everyone else there. That if I'm getting tacos asada or anything Mexican, I don't want it from a place that is in the southwest suburbs.
Wait, hold on now.
Yeah.
So Jason, that is bad. I just a real quick
it gets worse, guys. It
okay,
gets much worse.
I'll let you continue. Yeah. I have a follow-up on that, but go ahead.
Before I finish it, Julie, Karen, why don't you go tell us your DoorDash story again?
It's true. We had another one of those yesterday.
Oh man.
So we go to order. She would take our order, and she says, well, just so you guys know, if you want tacos, the only tacos we have available right now are chicken tinga, battered shrimp, and battered fish. We are all out of steak. And my mind got fucking blown right there because I was like, how does a fucking taco place run out of steak? And that's kind of all I wanted was just a couple of steak tacos, and, enjoy michelada. But Sarah was like, do you want to leave? And I'm like, no, we're already here. We ordered drinks. So I ended up getting a fucking smash burger at a fucking taco joint because they were out of fucking all the good stuff, man. And I'm like, that place we used to go to a few times and we really, really enjoyed our time. But now it's that place has fallen so far downhill. That's probably the last time we ever visit that. But just the fact that they ran out of steak, that's just no bueno, man.
So
no bueno indeed.
So I'm just gonna piggyback of a story I have. So obviously we all went to Los Comales. We've all been to a Los Comales restaurant, and I went there I used to live not too far away from Los Comales, and I went in there so they have really good enchiladas. On their thing, they have a huge thing that says enchilada dinner, whatever the price was at the time. So I asked, can I get the enchilada dinner? And this young kid was just kind of like, uno momento, por favor. So he went to go check, and then he came back. He's like, no tenemos no enchilada dinner. I'm like, what the fuck? Then why you got this advertised over here? And there's a Jewel over there. Why don't you just go get the tortillas and fucking fix it up here? It's stuff like that. It's like, why do you have this stuff advertised? Like, Jason, that would piss me off. The fact that they didn't have any steak either, and they didn't know how to make it, or they didn't have what?
But
they have the stuff for the enchiladas
as
as well too.
Pastor was gone. Like, it was chicken, it was shrimp, it was fish.
What are we doing here?
So yeah, I was like, maybe the delivery truck didn't show up, get delayed with Christmas, whatever. But still, like, that's embarrassing to like have a restaurant and only be like, yeah, we have like a dozen tacos on the menu. You can only get 3 options. Like
that, or just put it in the front door. Like, we're out of this stuff.
Yeah,
you can for
exactly.
yourself.
So you can turn right around and walk out.
Yeah, so you could just
walk to the
right
or
back
out
up.
of it. Well, at that point, just be closed. I mean, you're out of it. It seemed like they were out of everything.
So we we stuck around. We got some food that was available, and then we were just like, all right, that place is crossed off our list. So just heed a warning if you're ever in downtown Downers and thinking about Bar Cheeto, not the same as it was.
I mean, Peter posed the question to you. Can you ever imagine Paco's Tacos or Tacos, any place here on Pulaski that we have like 15 within a walking distance, ever running out of steak, like for carne asada?
Impossible.
Yeah. All right. Before we get a quick super chat from Gordo. Cheers, bums. Thank you, Gordo.
Salute, Gordo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had the pre-show text, and we said everyone's bringing a topic. We don't know what the topics are. It's mystery round robin style. So before we get to that, and you know what, we're gonna start with Jason's topic first, because I kind of have an idea what that is. Before we get to that, we're going to play plug from our sponsor, Jack's Place. The Bums Happy Hour is presented by Jack's Place. Located at 7000 West Southwest Highway, Jack's Place is the best little bar and slots lounge on the southwest side. Whether you're looking for a live music night, comedy night, or a Chicago Sports Bums event, Jack's Place is the place to be. We are deep in the football season, and Jack's Place is the best place to watch a college football Saturday or an NFL Sunday. Jack's Place is proudly female-owned and operated. Next time you're in the southwest suburbs, stop in at Jack's Place and tell them the Chicago Sports Bum sent you. So thank you to Jack's Place. I was just there last week. I watched the Notre Dame Indiana game there. Good place to watch a football game. I know Shane was in the comments. He was there. Dollar Guinness that night and Dollar Jameson. That was a good Friday night to watch a football game. And we just talked to Keith, the owner of Jack's Place. So shout out Keith. We're going to be raffling off 2 tickets to a Blackhawks game. So details for that is going to be announced next week. So we're doing back-to-back happy hours. Next week, Erin and Dougie are going to be doing the full Bourbon County Stout lineup review. That it's going to be live on the happy hour. Actually, you know what? I'll bring that up. Look at those. Look at that. They're going to be reviewing beers live on the happy hour, and we will announce how you can win those Blackhawks tickets to a March Blackhawks game next week. So thank you to everyone at Jack's Place, and tune in next week for that.
Those are very, very pristine seats. They are lower level. I think maybe like 10, 12 rows off the glass. Very, very nice. I see if I have the screenshot of it. No, the seat isn't on there, but the picture that was sent to us where the seats are from, very, very nice. So you guys would gonna like those seats, whoever wins them.
Yeah, they're awesome seats. They're 100 level, right off the glass. We'll have all the details next week, but we're excited to give those away. Thank you to Jack's Place. All right, so we got a round robin of topics. We don't know what each of them are, but you kind of gave a hint in the text group, Jay. So let's start with you before.
All right, so I'm gonna stick with the food topic because I feel like I always just eat and drink. That's my life, right? So guys, you wake up, you're on vacation, whether maybe it's Sunday morning, Saturday morning. You might be a little busy, you might be hitting the road. You want a fast food breakfast sandwich. Who doesn't love a good fast food breakfast sandwich, right? So I actually found an article that shows you the 5 places that actually use like real eggs in their sandwich and the 5 places that don't use real eggs.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you guys a breakdown. So maybe you frequent this place, a lot, and now you maybe won't after you hear this. So obviously, the first one that you should be doing is McDonald's. They use real whole eggs. I don't think that's any different, but that's only for their egg McMuffin.
Right.
If you do like the breakfast burrito, like their sausage burrito, that is like the liquid pre-frozen eggs, like anything that's with them was scrambled. But their egg McMuffin, they actually crack a fresh egg into the ring. So that's a good meal. Like, I don't know if that's what you guys go for, the egg McMuffin, but that's probably your best one. The first one you shouldn't go to is Starbucks. Starbucks does not use real eggs. They use a bunch of additives in theirs, water, soybean oil, food starch. So stay away from Starbucks.
That's not a surprise, dude. Starbucks breakfast.
Yeah.
I mean, I love their coffee. I mean, we get their coffee probably 5 times a week. But their food options are dog shit. It's all plastic. The bread is rubber, and yeah, the eggs and the sausage and everything else. If you're going to Starbucks, even if you're getting a quick, bite to eat, that's a bad move. Pass on all Starbucks breakfast.
Yep. The next one you should go to, Taco Bell. They committed to real whole eggs, and they carry whole cage-free eggs in all the restaurants. So I don't get the Taco Bell breakfast that often, much as I love Taco Bell, but that is one where you should be using, or you should be going there because they use real eggs. So, all right, that's number 2. Number 2 on the don't is kind of surprising because it's a chicken restaurant. It's Chick-fil-A.
I've never had their breakfast.
Yeah,
guilty.
So
I had it this morning, Jay.
Oh yeah.
Did you? Yeah. So they openly admit that they don't use 100% cage-free eggs, but I guess they're working towards it. But they have a whole bunch of additives in their egg sandwiches. So so for a company that actually does chicken probably 100% of the time, not using real eggs on breakfast seems a little weird on that one.
Yeah. They don't have enough time to let the chickens, lay the eggs, I guess, because they need them on the grill.
Yeah. Number 3 for the do, Wendy's. They use fresh cracked grade A eggs on all their breakfast sandwiches, and they actually have a third-party auditors that conduct to make sure that everything's in humane ways and everything. So Wendy's actually goes a little above and beyond with that to be responsible with it.
Nice.
But yeah, Wendy's breakfast uses real eggs. Number 3 on the don't list. This is probably another not a surprise to anyone. It's Dunkin' Donuts. I mean, just
yeah.
Starbucks. Dunkin' Donuts, I think, probably has some of the worst breakfast that I've ever had. I've only had a couple times in my life, and I've never been impressed by it. But they do not use real whole eggs. They use like egg patties. So just a lot of cornstarch, citric acid, xanthan gum, like all that shit. Like, stay away from Wendy's breakfast, man.
No, you mean Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin's.
Sorry, Dunkin' Donuts. Stay away from Dunkin'
Donuts. The weird thing about Dunkin' Donuts breakfast, and it's something that like I'm guilty of having a lot because it's convenient, and we got like 3 of them within like a half-mile radius of here. Their hash browns taste like soap, but I kind of like it. It's weird. It's a weird thing. Their hash browns I know they're bad, but I like the Dunkin' Donuts hash browns.
Number 4 on the do list, one that's not really much here, but Whataburger. I've never had Whataburger breakfast, but they say that they use 100% cage-free eggs. So yeah, we're not gonna go too much detail that, but that's that one's pretty easy. Number 4 on the don't list is Subway, and
they're open for breakfast.
Yeah, apparently there's some places that have breakfast sandwiches, but theirs is completely just pre-processed additives, gar gum, glycol, glycerin, fucking just a whole bunch of different bad ingredients. So they said years ago that they were going to transition to cage-free hens, but they have not done so. I guess only like 10% of the like Subway stores actually use real eggs. So yeah, don't do Subway. And I guess I don't know who's going to Subway for breakfast anyways. So
I just assumed they didn't open till like 11, 12 o'clock.
Yeah. And number 5 on the do list is Panera. I usually just go for bagels if I'm going to Panera for breakfast. I don't really do the egg sandwich there, but they use fresh eggs. So that's good for them. And then finally, the last one on Burger King, don't list is Burger King, which I don't think anyone really does Burger King breakfast anyways when you have good options. But they use a liquid egg pasteurized mixture, which has a number of additives with it. So those are the 5 do's and 5 don'ts for breakfast sandwiches. So I will definitely be sticking with McDonald's Egg McMuffins, some Taco Bell, and Wendy's going forward.
So, all right. So that's a good question, Jay, because you started off the list with that. Is that your go-to McDonald's order? Ignore the fake egg, real egg thing. I think the Egg McMuffin is like bottom tier breakfast sandwich at McDonald's.
That's what I usually do. I usually go with the sausage Egg McMuffin.
That's my go-to. That's mine. It's the king of breakfast with a hash brown.
Egg McMuffin. I hate the McMuffin. And I just don't like anything about it. I mean, obviously, if I'm going to McDonald's, I'm not looking to eat healthy, but like the McGriddle or even just the sausage biscuit with egg, it's like, like the old school.
Well, that's so with the biscuit, I believe they use the folded egg, so that's going to be like the egg. But if you use anything with the egg white ring, that's the healthy option.
But you could ask for those eggs on any sandwich. I've seen like TikToks and like YouTubes on that, where you could ask for any of the eggs from the McMuffins on any of the other sandwiches. But yeah, I just didn't. Maybe that's a me thing. I don't like the McMuffin. And then you mentioned Panera. Panera's got an awesome steak and egg breakfast sandwich. I only have it every once in a while. There's no real Panera close to us. Back when we lived in Justice, there was a Panera closer to us. But yeah, they're on my good list too, even though
I'm going to try to make an effort to go check out Taco Bell for breakfast again. I think I had it once years ago, but I want to go back and revisit it because apparently that they use it fresh. So that's my topic for you guys. You need that early morning hangover food.
Well, Jay, I'm going to have to do some recon for you because my number 1 breakfast sandwich, not as great as McDonald's Egg McMuffin is actually Tony's breakfast sub from Tony's Beef.
I gotta try that, man.
So I'm gonna have to walk in and talk to Tony and be like, "Hey, dude, what kind of eggs are you using?"
Nah, Tony's is using the good stuff. I can guarantee you.
Yeah.
If Mailman Jack's talking, Mailman Jack's talking about that sandwich like once a week. I always see you guys talking about it, and I'm yet to. Maybe now that I'm off work, maybe I make a drive over to Tony's and we could have some breakfast sandwiches together. Johnny, you were gonna say something?
Yeah, but I forgot. So
fair enough. All right. That was good. That was good breakfast. A little bit of breakfast talk. I'm gonna go with Joey next. What do you got for the group shit?
So Jay, you already mentioned it. Christmas has been known for NBA. Okay, through the years for at least the past decade or so. NBA on Christmas. Now we have the NFL infiltrate and pretty much take over the airwaves or the stream waves nowadays, right? So kind of went viral yesterday where the NFL ratings came out. The Chiefs Steelers on Netflix had 24.1 million viewers, followed by Ravens and Texans, 24.3 million viewers. So you had in total about, obviously, 48.4 million viewers just focused on 2 games alone. And there was 4 to 5 NBA games, and only one game topped out just over 5 million. So it leads the topic that's, been discussed across the country now. Why has our country lost so much interest in the NBA? Because it's not so much just Christmas, but overall. And I want to throw it around to you guys. Why don't you watch NBA basketball as much as you do? I'll give my reasons after you guys go around.
Number one, because the Bulls suck, and they've been sucking for 20 years, 25 years. So, I mean, a couple good years in there. But I think it's the Steph Curry effect. It's popping threes, right? There's no defense. You watch the NBA All-Star game, it's, glorified, laissez-faire pickup game. But it's too many threes. You need to bring back like the 90s rules of basketball. Get the hand checks, maybe some hard fouls every now and then where defense actually mattered. Now it's just like you got guys just, lollygagging down the court. They run down, they do a pop-up three, and then boom, that's it. It's, people want to see like some dunks over people, some, like the 90s bad boys, the Rodmans, like all that shit. That for me was made NBA exciting. Those rivalries, like in the playoffs, they were fucking like just heated, man. You hate watch sometimes, right? Like what you watched, because it was good television. Because yeah, I think, I'm not saying you have to get rid of the three, but I think you just need to bring back some like the old school, NBA rules to really make it more competitive.
Johnny, you watching?
No. And it's not even, we all grew up watching, the Jordan era and stuff like that. We love the NBA. And yes, it is a part of the Bulls not being good right now. I haven't watched a Bulls game at all this year, and I watched a couple last year, and it's just, to me, I feel it's just watered down. You talk, Jason, you were talking about the threes. That's all they do. There's no defense. It's a very soft game now. It's just a very different game. I think also too, it's a lack of star power. You're going to be pushing out the LeBrons. He's just, it's not working anymore. Stephen Curry, same thing too. They're all kind of like past their prime right now. Like you don't have that. I'm not saying they don't have great players in the NBA. I'm just saying the lack of star power. That's like if you're looking at baseball and you're seeing Shohei Ohtani, that's going to attract a lot of viewers. If you have Aaron Judge, that's going to attract a lot of viewers and whatnot, whatever the game is. For that, like, you got your Jason Tatum, you got your Anthony Edwards and all that. They're great players, but they don't have that Michael Jordan. They don't have that Kobe Bryant element, and even LeBron coming in the league was also a big thing when he first came. And it was must-see TV, and it was still pretty good when he came into the league. And now it's just, to me, I feel it's watered down. In college, I watch a bunch of college basketball, and it just, I'm looking at all these college basketball. It's like, who is going to be that next Kobe Bryant player or that Michael Jordan player? There's nobody of that right now. So I think it's a lack of star power as well too. Other sports have that. You look at, in the NFL, you have, Mahomes, you have, you have all these players that have star power, and it just, the NFL is never going to go away. It's just, I think it's basically surpassed everything when it comes to like America's pastime. Like that's right now the America's pastime,
100%.
But I think it's just a lack of star power, in my opinion. And like I said, until they get that next level of more players, that it's going to make things competitive. When they started doing that whole thing of I have to go to this team because that's the only way I'm going to win an NBA championship, that also kind of like threw everything kind of like watered down for me.
Yeah,
because I'm like there's no lack of I like the challenge. You never seen Jordan do that. You never seen Bird do that. You never seen Magic do that. They just built around the organization, and that's the one thing that drove competition and that drove the NBA. Like those rivalries, like everybody had great good players around them, and those Knicks, the Pistons, the Pacers, like all of them. Yeah, just they all had complementary pairs, and they just don't have that. It's just all-star players into one team, and then they still don't win anything. Like that one time when they had the Lakers, when they had like Shaq, Kobe, Karl Malone, and like Gary Payton or something like that. They didn't win a championship.
Yeah.
Like you have too many egos
Old.
on that team. Yeah, too old. Yeah, at the time too. Oh, yeah, I think it was Karl Malone, but. Yeah, I think it's just watered down. I think just a lot of the rules, a lot of traveling. You see a lot of bad calls on the refs as well too. And I know that's every sport, but I think it's just a lack of star power as well too. That's kind of like, it's not driving the interest into the NBA right now.
Yeah, it's not even like it is a lack of star power, but even the people that are considered stars are unlikable between load management and everything else, between the egos. No one stands out. Like Joel Embiid is like a villain at this point. Like people in Philly even hate him. And this has been an ongoing thing with the NBA. They're finally realizing, and I think it's too late now. It's everything you mentioned, Johnny. It's the catering to the stars. It's the development of the outside shooters and Steph Curry. Dude, Steph Curry is awesome. He revolutionized the NBA. Now everyone, if you see like, high school games and even like, lower level college games, everyone's just chucking up threes. And dude, like I remember, who was it? Like, Oakland Tech saying like, bring back the defense, like hand checking, just bring back hand checking, just make it easier to defend, get it a little bit more physical, but that they're never going to do that because they're protecting their quote unquote stars. So yeah, like it's crazy to think like NBA had a huge lead on like Major League Baseball, and Major League Baseball, for all of its warts and like all we complained about Rob Manfred, they posted record-setting attendance this year and record-setting viewership numbers between Ohtani, like you mentioned, and everything else. I feel like everything is on the uptick. NFL is breaking records left and right, and rightfully so. I mean, they're, like you mentioned, the king. Baseball is in a good spot right now. The MLS is breaking attendance record. They got a huge deal from Apple. Everything else, like they keep expanding. And basketball is the only one like swimming upstream. And I don't know what fixes that, because like you mentioned, there is no Kobe, there is no Michael, and there isn't going to be for the foreseeable future, because LeBron's old, Kevin Durant's old, Steph Curry's old, and all these younger stars. Anthony Edwards is awesome, but he's not going to do it on his own, and he's still missing a little something. So yeah, man, I think the NBA is in trouble.
I just want to point out one more thing too, and I think that's the one that I don't know if it not affected anybody as a NBA fan, but the fact, because we were bringing up LeBron, the fact that Bronny got into the league and he should not be in the league whatsoever. It's unlikable. It is a dumb thing to do. I don't know. And see, I think that's the thing. It's kind of like and I'm trying to bring wrestling over here. It's kind of like a WCW type of thing. Like, okay, I think we could get a viewership if we could have LeBron's son be on the same team. Maybe we'll get a couple viewers. How are you having this kid on an NBA team when there was a lot of other college players that are a lot better than Bronny? And he should not be on an NBA team whatsoever. He should not even be on a G League team.
Well, yeah,
that's
he's how bad the G League now. So,
but he shouldn't even be in the G League either.
Yeah.
Like, he's just not that good. You did not see Michael Jordan do everything he could possibly can to get his sons. We're both in college basketball. One was for the Illini, and the other one I think was for UCF. He didn't push them to be like, oh, you have to have my kids into an NBA team just because I was great. I just feel that's just like slap in the face to a lot of college players, a lot of people who worked very hard in their life to get to that point, to get to the NBA. And this guy got a silver spoon just to go in there just because his last name. I think that's absolutely bullshit. I think it turned off a lot of people being like, what is going on here? This is just like YMCA like type of deal going on over here, just pick people up off the street and just let them see what we can do, but I think that turned me off as well too about it. It's just like he should not be on any NBA team, let alone a G League team.
Joe, before you get to your point, I always want to say, remember back in the 80s and 90s, like you had maybe like one or two guys who were like your 3-point specialists, right? You had your Craig Hodges, like when you needed a couple threes, you brought him in your John Paxson. You had one guy. Now everyone is a 3-point specialist. Right now it's like, oh yes, that's all we do is shoot three. We need more outside shooting. We need more perimeter shooting. Those guys were like, you know, like just not a dime a dozen. They were more rare. And that's what made the game great back then, because you had like your guys who would drive, who would post up, you know, and now everybody thinks that, you know, they're Steph Curry because that was the highlight reel when he was doing it, popping, you know, 40 footers and shit. Right. So
the other thing that we haven't mentioned, and it's something, I mean, I watched a little bit of the game on Christmas Day at the evening game with the Lakers and the Golden State Warriors. I mean, the last 5 minutes of games, it literally lasts 45 minutes. Like they take forever to finish, and it's stop and go. It's stop and go. Like if they could figure out a way, I've seen Bill Simmons talk about this, and two things like he thought of is trying to speed up the last, you know, like 5 minutes of a game. He also mentioned limiting the amount of 3-pointers a team could take. So like you only get 25 per game, or you only get 30 per game. And like, if you waste them, then you can't shoot threes. I mean,
or they count as 2
count as 2 points. Exactly. So I thought that was, I mean, I don't think that's ever going to happen, but if ratings keep going this way, they're going to have to do something. You see Major League Baseball trying to change the way the game is played for the better with the pitch clock and the relievers and everything else. And like basketball is going to have to figure something out. It might not be as drastic as what Bill Simmons is doing, but I think it would go a long way to making the game watchable.
Absolutely. Right. And I was just going to say real quick, I'm not going to beat at that horse. The three of you stole all my notes here on my cue cards here, because from all my recon and research I did. Exactly. Absolutely. I'll just leave this one caveat. If we were to play NBA Jam today, and this is a point where there were foundations on all 30 NBA teams before it became the 32, right? We could play with any team and be happy NBA Jam back in the 90s, because every team was good. And you had your 3-point specialist, Jason. You know, you had your down low guy, your 7-foot center that'd be Duncan, whatever. So what team today, can you name more than 5 of 32 NBA teams today that you would play for if we had a modernized NBA Jam game?
That's a good question, Joe. Yeah, because
Lord knows nobody playing with the Bulls. Ain't nobody playing with the Bulls in NBA Jam 2025.
Right.
You know, I could talk about this all day. NBA, they don't have centers anymore. Like they don't have, like, the centers used to be a big part.
Well, they're all shooting NBA team now. They're all
that's all, like there's no like
this is the most old man yells at cloud at least the Bum's happy hour has been in a long time. But it's true. It really is true.
Hold on. And I saw a Dan put up there about the NIL stuff.
NIL.
So people have their opinions. Yeah, people have their opinions about that stuff. I think the people who are pissed off about it are the old heads. I have a good conversation to talk about Monday about it. I'm not going to talk too much about it right now. I think it is a good thing, and I think it is a bad thing, but I'll bring that up on Monday's little teaser over there.
All right, cool.
Because I know we got some more stuff we got.
All right, yeah. So we're gonna move on. Joey, that was very good. This has been good. Like everyone brings a topic. I think it's been pretty insightful. I'm gonna play. Shameless plug for us, and then I'll get to my topic.
Big Cartel is the official home of Chicago Sports Bums merch. Help support your favorite podcast by buying a couple 2-3 shirts. We got socks, bears, hawks, and bum branded threads, and all of our shirts are unisex sizes. Remember, all the proceeds go back directly into our Whiskey at Comiskey tailgates that keeps them free for everyone. And keep an eye out for new shirts coming very soon. So visit shysportsbums.bigcartel.com today.
All right, quick super chat from the Beef Loaf. Cheers. Give the NIL money to podcasters. We agree.
Hey, super chats are our NIL. So thank you, Beef Loaf. We are NILing at least a little bit on the Bums Happy Hour.
Yep.
But that means we
Right,
would be transferring over to different podcasts. You do realize?
Yeah, the Bumcast on
Yeah, we'll
Monday.
be entering the
That's the
trans-
only
Or
one
we go
you're
to either the 108 or we go to Sox Machine. It depends. How much is
NIL for
what are we
White
talking
Sox
about?
Twitter podcast. That would be a
what are we
good.
talking
That would
about?
be a good blog.
Yeah.
All right, so
All right, Peter, what's your topic?
So I saw this. Friend of the program, My Sox Summer, has a history with the Twitter account Chicago History, but I saw this today, and you know me. I'm a sucker for nostalgia. I'm a sucker for anything like this. So I saw a couple of these old logos, and I thought to myself, this would be good for you guys because, like I mentioned, we're all old. So I'm asking you guys to create like a 5 preset, in your car. And I don't even know cars nowadays. I mean, you have 20 presets, so it doesn't really matter. But you still have your top 6. But I'm going to go 5. Give me your top 5 radio stations, Chicago radio stations of all time. And what are you going 1 through 5? I'll go with you, Jay. I'll start with you.
All right. So I'm not going to put these in any particular order.
Yeah, no particular order.
Yeah. Obviously, it's Q101. And then we're going to go also with Rock 1035. I absolutely loved Rock 1035.
Mm-hmm.
Lou Brutus in the afternoons. And I know it's polarizing, but I always listened to, growing up, I always listened to Man Cow. But that was, different times and different times back then. In
Question.
Yeah.
Were you a Man Cow guy only when he was on Rock 1035, or did you transition over to Q101 when he went to Q101?
I listened to him when he went to Q101, but it wasn't the same.
It was
I'm
different.
like,
it was different.
Yeah, like the old school like Man Cow 135, and like when they hit his Turd and Irma, and and some of the other I can't remember, but yeah, that was, I like that. And then obviously B96, like old school B96, when they do the top 5 at like the at 9 o'clock, and like just the club music back in the day as well, that they would play like Friday and Saturday nights on B96. 92.3, getting Power 92. That was also and maybe because I didn't listen to a lot of classic rock back then, because I was more of like the Q&O alternative and rock. So I think the other one was I think I did a lot of WGCI, especially when you called and they had the people calling the birthday line. That was always awesome. When I didn't like in my teens and everything, I didn't listen to like sports talk radio. That was boring as shit. I listened to a lot of old school, so I was a lot of it was Q101, Rock 1035, B96, 92.3, 107.5.
That's a good list. Johnny, I feel like me and you, Johnny, are going to have very similar radio stations.
Is it, you said 3 or 5?
5. And
okay,
I forgot to mention, I don't know if I mentioned it when in the text group, but I was going AM FM too. Like AM is part of this too. I know,
Yeah, you have it out there. So
yeah.
All right. So I'm going to start with RIP, The Loop. I obviously, a lot of people know I'm a huge music lover. I got all my education through The Loop when I was growing up, and just listened to it when I was at work in the warehouse. Just nonstop. We just had that playing all the time. So that's how I started liking rock. Old classic rock music was The Loop. So like I said, RIP on them. Then I like Q101. I grew up on Q101 alternative when I was listening to like 9 Inch Nails, Smashing Pumpkins. I mean, you name it. I mean, when we were growing up, those jamborees as well too that I used to go to, and they used to have.
Yeah.
Those concerts were great as well too. That's when I seen Red Hot Chili Peppers when they first came out with Californication on one of those Q101 jamborees. So that was such a great time. B96 is another one as well too. Growing up in the 90s and getting those cassette tapes and waiting to like get and record it right away when you're like, oh, I gotta record.
I used to record.
You gotta record a song. They used to have Bad Boy Bill on there. They used to have Julian Jumper Perez. They used to have all these DJs back in the day.
Too Cool Chris, DJ
Too
Marksky,
Cool Chris. Yes, they used to have
DJ
all those.
Speed.
Yes, they used to have all those DJs. I used to love B96 back in the day. And then I'm gonna say WMVP. Back in the day, you know, you used to have your Mac Yurko and Harry. You used to have like all these other. I used to love it back in the day when this is when Carmen DeFalco and Sylvie they first started, and that was a great show. So they always had nonstop stuff like back to back to back to back, and I absolutely enjoyed it. So I thought that was great. And my final one, I'm gonna say, and it's just because, it just brings it from my dad. You know, he used to listen to the oldie station all the time and all that oldie stuff. And, you know, a lot of oldies classic rock was such a great thing. And he used to listen to it every time he used to take me to school. So I got to put that on there as one of my top 5 on there.
You know what's fucked up? And I'll put the graphic back up for you, Joey, but you mentioned the oldies, and this is something I've noticed of late. All of like the classic rock stuff is starting to play like 90s alternative rock. And I'm like, what the fuck? This is a problem now. When like we're hearing Bush and like Pearl Jam and everything else that we used to grow up listening to on classic rock stations. I'm like, oh my God, that's like the first thing I thought of. Like, I am old. I'm like, it's a problem.
Quick question for you guys, just real quick. Back in the day, Mancow or Eddie and Jobo?
Eddie and Jobo for me. That's my number one.
I used to love listening to Mancow when he was on the Rock. I mean, that was really good. Jason, obviously you mentioned that before. Yeah. That was really good time back. And then when he went into Q101, I mean, I still liked when he was on Q101, but it just seemed like it was a more watered down version.
A little watered down,
Yes, it was definitely different. So I would say Mancow. I did love Eddie and Jobo, by the way. And fun fact, I forgot which one it was. Eddie or Jobo, Harry Volkman was the weatherman.
That was his dad.
Fox News. That was his dad. Yeah, that
was Eddie. That was Eddie Volkman's dad.
Eddie Volkman, yeah.
All right, Joey, what do you got?
Yeah, I'll speed through this because you guys just brought him up. They're number one with a silver bullet to me, Eddie and Jobo. Fun fact, you know, Jay, you mentioned it too, and so did Johnny. B96 for me, growing up, 80s baby. So, you know, I'm listening to I'm introduced to freestyle music in the 80s, growing up in La Villita with my cousins, right? Because they had their big boom boxes and we'd walk down Cermak and Western with it and stuff.
You're describing like a stereotypical cartoon, man.
Well, I'm sorry. I am one in real life. So no.
Hey, leave him alone. Go ahead, Joey. Talk. Don't worry about him. Shut up, Peter.
Thank you, Hermano. Yeah, so no. Back in the day, we had freestyle. You know, they introduced us to the Stevie B's and to Spring Love and all those beautiful tracks that they used to make love songs back in the day. They don't make those no more, really. But then as we grew up with B96 then. So in the 90s, then you had all your hip hop and rap that overtook the station and, you know, all the legends in today's music, right? That from yesteryear. And then, you know, once I personally then got into high school, and Jay, that's when we met, you know, our first time together. That's when I actually transitioned. Yeah, our first time together. That's when I actually transitioned then to the Mancow Muller show. So, and Mancow did his first stint at his prior employer. Obviously, he had a whole different vibe, like you guys just said. His shows, his skits, everything was well beyond his years. I'd have to say. And then when he made the transition, it was still cool and all in high school, but I think he had made his run at that point. So next on the list, love for country music because, you know, my grandparents used to have US 99 on all the time. I'm sorry. Even it was contagious to my dad. My Hispanic dad was picking up on country music, and I think that's how he learned English. Kind of.
No apologizing here. Joey, just keep going.
El Primo Rafa. How can I not go without mentioning La Que Buena?
Damn.
La Que Buena.
That's a good call.
Yeah, my tias, they'd always have it on when we were making tamales Christmas time, you know, in the kitchen. We're all taking out garbage and helping them with las hojas and stuff. So you had La Que Buena always playing in the background. So, You had those Wookies, everything playing on that station back then, and Chente. And then now, today, my number 5 in my top 5 Chicago history of music or radio stations is WBBM 105.9.
Oh my God.
I need to know my traffic. I need to know my weather.
I mean that for Joey, I mean,
shit.
I totally understand that part.
Yeah, you're driving around, you're in the car a lot. That makes sense. But at this point, everyone's got an iPhone. If you're listening to traffic and weather on the radio, you might as well be listening to like the oldies, man. You're fucking washed.
Can we talk about the defunct ones? Do you remember Z95?
You motherfucker, that was gonna be one of my 5.
All right,
Spoiler
Peter, go.
alert. Hold on, before we get to my 5, I want to get two quick super chats.
These Laguntas are going out pretty good.
The Laguntas are getting to you. You're jumping after my Z95 talk.
Right.
First of all, Jose, thank you, Joey and Sandy, for the Bums merch. I'm sure you guys are gonna look great in the Buns merch. I appreciate that.
Buns merch.
So
Bums merch.
Buns, head bun in charge.
Bums.
Merry Christmas, head bun.
Merry Christmas, head bun. But thank you to Jose. Thank you. And then Jared's in the comments says you guys are officially old guys. Yeah, that's true. Enjoy your 90s classic rock and cheer drinks.
I thought that it said Erasure when he put
Dude,
that
shout
I
out
did
Erasure.
too.
That's one of
Yeah,
I love
Erasure
Erasure.
was good. Yeah,
Good
see?
band. Great band.
Good stuff.
All right, I'll rattle out mine off quick because we all talked about most of them. ESPN 1000 is first. I've been listening to whether it's WMVP or ESPN 1000, like you mentioned, Matt Kierko and Harry, Carmen and Sylvie, everyone else like that. I've been listening to that radio station since I was like 16, and I'm damn near 40 now. Q101 is second, like you mentioned, Johnny. The Jamborees, all of my alternative music. And I'll transition to my third one where it's like there was times when we moved from the city to the suburbs where it's like this is gonna make sense to some people, not everybody, but I was like La India Maria. It was like not ni de aquí ni de allá. So I had to be listening to both like hip hop and house music, but also like Green Day and Rancid, like we mentioned the last time. So it was B96. I was B96 and Q1. I had them like back to back all the time. And Z95. The first music I recorded on a cassette tape was Z95 used to do like their top 10. And that was basically B96 before B96 existed. And then the last one is someone we didn't mention, but now that I'm older and I'm not always listening to rock or hip hop or anything like that, is the Mix. I think the Mix has a good adult contemporary balance of like they still play a little bit of alternative. They play like pop
Eric
hits.
and Kathy, motherfucker.
Yeah, Eric and Kathy. I mean, back before they got canceled or something happened. I don't mind the Mix, so they're in my top 5.
We have to get our NSYNC mix, okay? And
yeah, a little bit of like they toss in a couple Backstreet Boys songs and NSYNC songs. So I got to give a little love to 101.9.
I will say I did listen like as everyone with the radio. You had your presets and you would always be skipping songs. But as soon as I got my my car, and not my first car, I would say my second car, and you put a CD changer in there, fuck the radio. Then it was what's in the album. What are we?
Oh man,
playing?
You know what?
Flipping pages.
This is a tease for the next happy hour, and not the next one because the next one's going to be Dougie and Erin doing the Bourbon County Start reviews. But the one after that, we might have to run this back, and we're going to have to do what's in your 6-disc CD changer. Because I had a Volkswagen Jetta with a 6-disc CD changer back when I turned 16 when I got my license. So that's a tease for next time we're all together.
Do that because I had a Pioneer 5-disc that and like that thing was awesome, man.
Jay, was it underneath your seat like mine was?
No, mine was in
your tray that you had to bring
in the
out.
trunk. Was it in the trunk?
Yeah.
I had an Audi A6, if you guys remember, and I used to the CD changer used to be in the trunk.
Yeah, same. So my sister had a Volkswagen Passat, and it's the same car as the Audi A6. And I remember them having to change it in the trunk. Same with mine. But then they came out with the ones that were in the dash, 6-disc. I thought that was a game changer. I was like, holy cow, you don't have to go all the way to the trunk or like the center console for that.
That was
when I had a Pontiac Grand Am and that was my used car. I had a deck in there, but I had the changer in the trunk. But when I bought like a brand new Pontiac, a Grand Prix, it had the 6-disc in the dash, and that was fucking,
that's what I'm saying.
Like, mind
it's
blowing
a game
for me.
changer.
I was like, what, in the dash? I don't have to pull over anymore.
Yeah, I had a cousin, and I don't remember what kind of car it was, but he had the 6-disc in the like center console of his car, and I'm like, you don't have to go into the trunk. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, mine was actually under the seat. I had a really cool spot in Evergreen Park that did sounds, and they came out with like stuff off of the Crutchfield magazine, if you remember that back in the day.
Crutchfield, yeah. Shout out, like there was like Blaupunkt was a huge name.
Yeah,
and it was like, oh, they come from Germany, and it's like they're real sound systems. I'm like, I don't know, just give me the cheapest one I got from like Best Buy.
Yeah, when I went for mine, they asked me, do you want it in the trunk or you want this new one that we just ordered from Crutchfield and it's in your car underneath the seat? I'm like, give me that one.
I
it's
love
this
that
much. It's a whole month's salary. That's fine. Take my money.
I love that our age is showing so well right now.
Really
and we're also short too, right? We're also short too, right?
Magazine.
Yeah, we're also short too.
Yeah.
All right. Before we get to the last topic, quick super chat. Sandy P. Great music for the 90s. Cheers. Thank you.
Salute, Sandy. Thank you. All right, Johnny. You're betting cleanup. What do you got for us?
Well, here. So I was just gonna wait because I didn't know if we had enough time for this, but I did see something like this, and I should have just gave you the clip because I thought it was pretty funny. But I saw a clip of these English kids trying biscuits and gravy and chicken. You know, this was something that they were not very accustomed to in England. It was totally like different world for them. But when they tried it, it was just like, I can't believe like this is so good. This is great. And all that. So one of my questions is there something that you guys like, people say that it's such a good food. It's a great food, but when you hear it, it's like, I don't think I can ever try that. I think you'll never see me eat this at all. But would you give it a chance to try it? Because these English kids, when they were trying all this stuff, when they were trying the biscuits and gravy, they looked at the biscuits and gravy, and the gravy was like, oh, that's not gravy. I know what gravy is, and that's not what it is. And when they were pouring the gravy, they were like, it looks clumpy, it looks disgusting. But when they tried it, they were all shocked, and they were like, this is fucking good. Now, I used to be like that with biscuits and gravy. I was never, ever like, I thought that was such a weird concept of biscuits and gravy and chicken and all that. And I tried it. Actually, I tried it this year. That shit's fucking great. I mean, that I absolutely love it. So is there any food that you would, that people say like, oh, it's so good, but you're like, I don't think I could try it because it sounds disgusting type of thing,
I need to think on this one.
I got my answer. So it's almost similar to yours, Johnny. I actually have two, but so the first one is something I thought looked. It sounds awesome. Looked nasty whenever I looked at it. I mean, especially growing up, but now I've had it and it was awesome. It's chicken fried steak. Chicken fried steak is amazing. Like you go to Cracker Barrel or one of these like Southern diners and stuff like that. But the one I won't fuck with ever, and I know it's good. People say it's good. And like my grandma, she used to make octopus soup, but any type of octopus, any type of squid. Every once in a while, I don't mind fried calamari, but
pulpo.
I don't fuck with pulpo. And like my entire family would go over to my grandma's house, my sister included. Like she was like 4 years younger than me, and it's like this is like the best caldo ever. And it was this octopus soup, and I'm like, I don't fuck with octopus. Like they're aliens. They're not from this planet. They're weird. No, thank you.
They're gonna adhere to your face and get stuck.
Yeah, no, I don't fuck with octopus.
Okay, I think I got mine. Yes, beef. I have to agree with you. Yeah, octopus is awesome.
Well, where were we? Where were we? You ordered it.
No, we did have octopus. We did have octopus at Chef Ruddy's restaurant.
Oh yeah, we were Chef Ruddy. Yeah, shout out Chef Ruddy. We were at his restaurant and we got appetizers for the table. And Jason, without hesitation, you're like, I ordered the octopus for the group, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, because like if you go to like a place that's known for seafood,
and you order octopus, if it's fresh and done properly, it could be some of the most succulent stuff you ever have. But then you'll go to places that don't do it right, or it's not fresh, and it's just chewy and rubbery, and it kind of ruins the whole experience. But if you get octopus done right, it'll literally like melt in your mouth, and it's an awesome time, especially if they put like a little sauce around it and you got some toppings. It's awesome. So I'm a big octopus guy. I fell in love with it when I went to Barcelona almost 20 years ago. I was never like a big sushi or seafood guy, and then around that time I was like, oh man, I'm missing out. There's a lot of good stuff. But yeah, I'm still not a mussels guy, because I don't like the fact that you just gotta like just throat it, and
Haktua.
like I'm not haktuing. I'm gonna haktua that up.
Spit on that thing.
Yeah. But for me, I thought of it. I'm out on like liver, and I'm out on tongue. Like,
no tacos de lengua.
No, that's
when
not,
I was a
that's
kid.
Not me, dude.
When I was a kid, I would never fuck with tacos de lengua. And now as an adult, it's still like something on a quiet, like maybe like 2 times a year. I'll get my tacos de asada, and maybe I'll get like 1 taco de lengua. But now I think it's good. Joey, you fuck with taco de lengua?
100%. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. 100%. It's a delicacy, and it's actually they're probably the most expensive tacos on the menu these days. Sandy's got a story for another day to share with you guys about an old coworker she had. They used to complain. The beef tongue, they used to give it away back in the day here in Chicagoland in the delis. And now it's like $8 a pound. What happened? But I got to share the story with you guys too. I loathed any kind of seafood growing up. I just didn't like it. So I didn't want to touch it. The lobsters at Red Lobster, when my parents would take me to Red Lobster, at first was like, this is crazy. I'm going to eat this. So no, I would order cheese sticks at Red Lobster just because I don't want to touch any seafood.
Real quick. You guys said about tongue. What about brain?
The sesos.
No, yeah. Sesos. I don't fuck with sesos.
I've had them, and they're actually really good.
So I'm not fucking with brain, and I'm not fucking with tongue. Like you can give me any other type of cut on the cow. I ain't fucking with brain or tongue, man.
Don't knock it till you try it.
Johnny. Fuck. Johnny, what's your answer?
So this is going to be very surprising. Now I'm going to say something that it's probably going to shock everybody here. Now, it took me a very long time to try menudo. Something about menudo, when they told me what it actually was, I'm just like, I don't know if I could try this. It just everybody's like, obviously, Peter, they used to have menudo, pozole, every time at family parties and all that.
Weekends.
And I would never try it because I'm just like, when they told me what it was, I'm just like, that does not seem appealing to me. And then I ended up trying it. I'm just like, okay, this is actually fucking pretty good. I'm with Jason as well too. I don't like nothing de lengua or anything like that. I don't think I can ever try something like that. It just seems pretty disgusting to me. And I don't think I ever like, and I like, like I said, I do love seafood. I do like a lot of the stuff. It just, I can't do it. I don't know what it is. And just, I don't think you could pay me a certain amount of money to eat that. I'll be honest.
Damn. I'll admit too, just to close my story, I grew out of my fear of phobia of seafood when I got married, because that's all she wanted to go. Los mariscos, las islas Marias, and all those places.
It's good, man.
Now I love it.
Yeah, I don't mind seafood. It's just the octopus squid that kind of freaks me out.
I'm gonna say another thing about octopus as well too. I wasn't a big fan of it. When we went to, and
sorry to Chef Reddy, we love you.
No, no offense. Like I said, no offense to Chef Reddy. I'll even say it and tell him too. And it's not even whoever made it or whatever. It's just the fact that it wasn't appealing to me. I just didn't like octopus. I love lobster. I love anything seafood, but just
crab legs.
That is, yeah. Another thing too, I probably would never have, and something that my dad said he had before. Alligator. I don't think I can have alligator either.
Oh, I've had alligator.
Awesome.
I don't think I can have. I don't think I can have that either. Yeah.
I had this conversation with Brian S.
Is awesome.
Brian S. was saying, yeah, fried alligator is good. And
yeah,
but again,
gator ribs.
Like, I'm gonna have it like once in my life or twice in my life. I wouldn't necessarily go looking for it.
Shameless plug. I know they're not a sponsor, but if you guys ever go down to like Wicker Park, Westtown area, Frontier, Chicago, they actually have appetizer fried gator bites are on the menu right now, and they used to do gator ribs. So yeah, if you can actually do a whole animal gator service if you want as well. So if you want to do like a animal service or just get gator bites, highly recommend gator bites.
All right. So yeah, that wraps up our Bums Happy Hour presented by Jack's Place, 7000 West Southwest Highway in Chicago Ridge. Reminder, tune in next week for the happy hour with Erin and Dougie. We're going to be announcing the giveaway for the Blackhawk tickets in March. So thank you to Jack's Place. And I'll leave this up there. Apparently, I saw it in the comments. I'm going to have to add Brewhand Luke to this lineup because Brewhand Luke is going to be reviewing the Bourbon County brand stouts with them next week. So tune in for that. And then, we'll just tease this. The link is in the description, but we're going to talk about it more on Monday. We got the watch party at the Ramova, January 10th, 6 p.m. Original 6 matchup. We've got a $25 Blackhawks party package. It's going to be an awesome time. We got a bunch of RSVPs already. So thank you to everyone that RSVP'd. It's free. It's free to RSVP. You just click the link and RSVP if you're going to make it. And if you want the party package, $25. I think it's a great deal. But yeah, tune in next week to the Bums Happy Hour. We're going to be running it back-to-back weeks. And then from there, we're going to have to run back the 6-disc CD changer thing. So maybe 2 weeks
I want to get into
we're
this talk, man, because fun fact, I still have my old CD album in there, and you might be surprised what's in my old album.
I think I still got my old book. I think I might pull that out and just,
I've got 2 books full
that
with
out.
at least 100 CDs in the garage in my overhang.
There are some potential DVDs I need to pull out of that first, though.
All right. So yeah, let's run this back 2 weeks after next week. So we'll do that. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone in the comments. Thank you for the super chats. We appreciate that. That's our NIL money. It goes a long way for the whiskey reviews and the whiskeys at Comiskey's and all that fun stuff. Have a good Friday. Have a belated Merry Christmas and a Happy
Merry
New
Christmas,
Year.
everybody. Yes. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Cheers.
Out there. Yep.
All right. Salute, gents.
See ya.
Keep going. Keep going.
Amazing.
No. I love you all.